Hi there. This is Scott Marker, and this is another episode of Treasure Valley NIA QuickTips. What it is I'm a franchise owner of Network in Action, and I have three groups. They're just local, professional, high caliber owners, and we get together and try to help each other grow our businesses. And through that, I meet a lot of really high caliber people in their industries, and I bring them on and share their expertise to the audience. So today is a perfect example. Stephanie, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Helms from Stewart Associates CPA firm, as well as Superior Cloud Accounting.
Oh,
And we do full service from beginning to end, from your books to your tax and planning, lifetime.
cool. So what was the cloud? The cloud?
Superior Cloud
Yeah.
Accounting, we also do clients' books because we often get people's requests that they want to have an end-to-end accounting so that their books tie right into the tax returns.
Oh, so you write on through, you do their bookkeeping all the way through to their accounting, all the way through their taxes.
Yes, and that way, all the time they have tax-ready books every month. And it's also helping them to make good decisions because they have good data. Because a lot of times people are running in the dark in their businesses and they're just working hard, but they don't get the best out of their money, and there's decisions that could be made all along that
Right.
will help them save taxes.
Yeah, and I've come up with some questions that actually from you. Some of the things that you hear a lot over and over again. But one thing I like to ask also too is just real quick explain, because I love it, is that um and kind of the old model is, you get your accountant, and then you see them once a year. Right? And
Yes.
but what happens between that 1 year? I mean, there's a lot of, so kind of in a kind of, you know, keep it somewhat, short, but give a couple examples of where you've had clients that didn't, they hire you and find out that that's why they hired you, is because you actually help them every month to be able to plan for their taxes versus wait until next year.
Yeah. So we tell clients, if you have something major that's going to happen, that's a financial decision, don't make it in the dark and come
Yeah.
afterwards, because that's called post-mortem planning. There's only so much we can do after it's already dead.
Yeah.
So small changes can make big differences. Now, in businesses, you may have a lot of business decisions that's riding on tax planning. And so those clients we often see throughout the year, working with them to do tax planning choices, asset changes all along. And so we're hand in hand working with the business to make good business decisions to keep more money in their pockets and less to the government, and also to structure their books so they can make decisions on a managerial basis.
Right. It makes total sense. Yeah. I mean, how you I mean, money runs a business, and if you don't know what's what and what's going on, on a month to month basis, it's hard to plan.
Yeah, and that's what we hear people coming in right now is they can't find or their CPA isn't answering their calls, or they don't
Right.
have someone, and they just think, I'll just work really hard. And then it gets thrown into some black box called taxes. And somehow when it comes out the other end, they're going to owe about 40% of their net income.
Wow.
So I'm telling them, no, it doesn't have to be that way. You should be seeing your data like every single month, know where you're at, maybe even forecasting, and you're going to be able to grow as a business, because this isn't just compliance. This is your business and you need to be managing it,
Right.
and you can't manage it well without good data.
Right. So be in the dark, about your money till the end of each year. So yeah, I love that. And that what you just mentioned kind of ties into it is, um, when it comes to selecting a tax preparer, and then why is it that it's so hard nowadays to get your CPAs to call you back?
Well, the reason why your CPAs aren't calling you back is because they're overwhelmed with too much work, because there's a shortage of CPAs and it's going to get worse. There are more people retiring in our profession, which is
Right.
difficult profession with the long hours everyone knows of. And everybody wants to have a good price on their tax returns, which pushes the salaries down, on the other hand.
Right.
So there are fewer people wanting to become a CPA, which is a very long process to do. It's pretty arduous to be able to become a CPA, just like a lawyer. And so there are fewer and fewer CPAs. So if a CPA, if you have, depreciation on a business, you have complexity to your taxes, get in with the CPA while you can, because more and more of them are closing their doors to additional business except for referrals,
Yeah.
internal referrals and such. And of course, in order to equalize the market and bring people into our profession, overall, tax preparation is going to have to increase in order to be able to pay the salaries of people coming out to become CPAs.
Right. And the
So,
way, yeah. And the way I look at that is then that's how you earn your keep though. So let's say you're the tax, Mr. Mr. or Mrs. A tax preparer. You just once a year, they come in to see you and you plan so that, you save them a lot of money in their taxes. They're actually coming ahead because, they might,
yes.
if you're growing your business at let's say 25% a year and, that you got to plan for that. I mean, that additional money's coming or anyway, you just got to plan for that. So I guess that's a way that you can earn your keep pretty easily. Show your keep, show your worth is by, saying, hey,
By
here,
far,
yeah,
by far, we're saving money, especially when you have complexity to your taxes, and sometimes it's really large amounts of money, and you don't want to get audited. Those take 6 months, a year to get
wow,
through, and a
yeah,
lot of money. So if there's complexity, yes, and the more complex and the more business, there's more money to save. And just as a note, in the United States, there is no requirements to become a tax preparer other than paying a fee of about $45 for a P10. So if you go to and someone has a shingle out that they're a tax preparer, that doesn't mean they're qualified to
wow,
actually do taxes well. So you really need to be careful. But there are, non-certified people at minimum. If you have a small business, I would say that you at least need an enrolled agent. That's an EA, which is enrolled with the IRS, and they took a series of tests to become that. So they have some qualifications. And then the next higher level, the ultimate level is a CPA.
yeah, yeah. The whole landscape is, as we've talked about before, is that it just like you said, if you have a good accountant, good CPA, keep them. And if you don't have one, you better find one quick. 'Cause
Yeah,
the
go
door.
find them. If your business is going to grow, it's an investment because you should have
Right.
a team
Yeah.
of a CPA, a lawyer, an insurance agent,
Yep.
and a banker.
Yep. Yep.
It's a set of four,
Yep.
and those provide your framework to support you and your business to make good decisions and keep you so that you're protected in your assets.
Yeah. That's like your power team.
Yep,
Uh,
that's for
so
sure.
so why is it you'll have some people say business owners will ask their tax preparer CPA whatever it is, hey, file me an extension, and they still get a penalty, and they're wondering why is that?
Well, this is a very common misunderstanding that we have all the time. So we've even put it this year in our welcome letter to try to help resolve it. So when you get an extension at the due date, it's only an extension to file your return, but not when taxes are due. So taxes are
Oh,
still due on April 15th. So you need to make an estimate. If you think you're going
right.
to owe, go ahead and make an estimated payment while your taxes are being completed, and then you'll get your money back if you've overpaid. But your timing starts on April 15th. So when you owe $10,000 2 months later, you're going to have penalties and interest from April 15th.
Wow. So
So yeah.
yeah, that ties right back into what the theme we have here is that's why you need to have, a CPA that works with you all year long. Because if they do,
Yes.
they say, yes, you are going to owe some taxes. So let's do an estimated, let's get part of that done now and then file your extension so you don't get any penalties.
On top of that, if you're a business owner of a pass-through entity, then in at least in Idaho and multiple other states, there's the opportunity to elect to pay your state tax at the entity level. And if you do it by December 31st, you get to deduct it on your federal return. So
Oh,
that is nowhere else. So actually planning for the next year, you're already doing it in the fall time. And there
wow.
are things that if you don't do, it's costing you money.
Wow. That is awesome. Again, theme again, get a good CPA and
And then
keep them.
act and work in advance,
Yeah.
not as a reactive situation is the
Porsche modem. I
best.
love that Porsche modem. Yeah, I just bought this $50,000 truck, $80,000 truck. Um, I'm sure you can write it off this year for me. Um, uh, okay,
Yeah.
and this is a big one. I know that you're an expert on, because I like I said I've never heard it before, but now now I hear you talking about a lot, and you've been on other podcasts and other shows, and you've written about it. Is what's this the new tax laws, the Corporate Transparency Act, which requires you to register for the Financial Crimes Unit with the Treasury Department.
Yeah, it's pretty ominous, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
what? And that's like I'm a little LLC, so that's me too, right?
Yeah, that's you too.
Yeah.
If
That's
you have a
crazy.
filing with the Secretary of State and you're a small business, that's the target of this law.
Okay.
So large companies are excluded. So this is a small business law. So all those LLCs,
Oh,
even like little ones that you're just running on your rental,
yeah.
all of those.
Wow.
So the FinCEN is the Financial Crimes Unit. So they're trying to get more transparency to track money across the United States to try to find crime and illegal activities. So they passed this law in 21 and now it's in effect this year. And what you have to do is if you have a new LLC during this year, you have 90 days to register with FinCEN on their website and you have to report your beneficial owners. So they want to know everyone's birthdays, social security numbers,
Wow.
address, who, and this is not only owners, this is also people who have a say in the business. A major decision makers must be listed as well, even if you don't have ownership. So they're trying to track all this information. People who had companies before the beginning of the year have until January of 26 to comply. So mostly right now, this is new companies. So if you're
Okay.
out there making a new business and go file, you need, I would do that right away with Vincent. It probably takes you 10 minutes.
Okay. And
But the question
what is
here
it again? So
is
someone like listeners
privacy.
would know where would they go? What's it called again?
It's called the long name of it is called the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, which is FinCEN. So if you
Okay.
just Google FinCEN,
Okay.
you'll find it.
Okay.
But
Perfect.
the key thing on this too is it has huge fines. So you can be fined $500 to $10,000 per violation and even go to jail. So you have your
Wow.
little LLC, you
Yeah.
don't file it, they have the ability to put you in jail.
Wow.
So if they want to, so that you really need to get compliance. It's not hard,
Right.
it's not annual.
Right.
You only have to file again if you have a change. So it's a
Cool.
one-time 10-minute deal. The
Wow.
question here is privacy that people are angry at. Is it fair to make you file to this financial crimes unit or not?
Right.
And that's why there's backlash on this is privacy.
Yeah.
But it's the law right now. So if you're out
Wow.
there, you have a new company, get compliant and
And what
file.
I'll do is I'll reach out to you and get the link and I'll put it in the show notes for
Okay,
them.
perfect.
That'll be perfect. Um, so what, and then, coming up in the next few years, but what's going to change with like my taxes, our taxes, and why are we going to see an increase, you think?
So right now we are, without a change in tax law, we're facing a pretty major increase about in 2026. So it's not happening right now, and most likely they're going to change the law. But the Tax and Jobs Act of 2017, which was based law that Trump put into place, was a major tax overhaul, and that is set to sunset in 25. So
Okay.
what's going to happen is all the tax law basically that we've been working with the last few years is set to revert back to the prior, and that's when we used to have exemptions and a lower standard deduction, which throws people back into itemizers. So everything we've gotten used to, the new W-4s, everything is set to revert. And for small business owners, you're talking about that 20% deduction on the small businesses that they're getting a break on their taxes is set to expire, and the tax rates for everyone, the tax structure is going up with that. So for most people, they're going to pay more tax. Now we know when they wait till the last minute, Congress does to make changes.
Always.
Yeah, instead of
Yeah.
acting, in a regular basis, I know this is going to sunset. We need to start. So the discussion has started, but everything is behind the election. Once that gets done, then they'll be starting to think, what
Right.
are we going to do and what are we going to change depending on, which party is in power.
Yeah.
So, but definitively, like some of them are really hot topics like child tax credits. We know that's going to change back and, they're not going to let that go back the other way where people are not getting as much credit because they're trying to help families. But until they pass the law, you don't know. So right now, what does that mean? It means for us that some of our clients that have choices of when timing is are holding off to have more gains in later periods because they're afraid the tax rate's going to go up.
Right.
So it's kind of agreement that you're not going to get lower taxes than now.
Right.
So if you have a major event that you can time, then maybe you wait to see, because it'd be awful if you're going to pay quite a bit more taxes, here or there. So, like depreciation, if they don't need it now, they can wait a little bit and take some more when it has a higher tax rate.
Okay. Again,
So it's good to be thinking about it and knowing this is out there and set to expire.
see, there's this, it's like just so complex, all this stuff. It means more than ever. It's just like you really need to find yourself a good CPA and stuff, because that way they keep you abreast of this stuff, and then you don't have to worry about what you do. That's why they have you planning. But I mean, are they or aren't they gonna, raise our taxes? But well, maybe we should start planning to see if they do. But at the same time, if you stick your head in the ground like an ostrich, or uh, anyway, you got to plan ahead. That's kind of the theme I see here, is that every time there's some new change with the tax law, or it just seems, as a business owner, we need to focus our times on keeping our customers and growing and getting more customers,
Yeah,
and not
the business owner needs to
worrying about
focus
all
on
this
what they
tax
are.
crap. You
Right,
know,
because you'll get, and that's the same thing for their books, because business owners feel like they just got to do it all, but they're taking away their time and something that's making them frustrated and generally do not do well because that's not their space.
yeah,
And so they think they're saving money, but it's costing them because they're frustrated, they can't sleep at night,
yeah,
and they should be trying to get customers and building their business instead, and leaving to professionals what each thing is: a lawyer, a tax accountant, an accountant. They're all there to
yeah,
help you in your business to make decisions. And as far as tax law, we have to have 40 hours of continuing ed a year. So because tax law changes so much, we have to keep abreast of all the changes. And I get daily updates
wow,
on what's going on in tax law. So yeah, just in general, business owners should be aware generally of the environment, that should be working and relying on someone else to know the specifics of what's going to impact them and how their decision making should change.
Wow. You're right. What there's we're coming to the end here. What this has been really good. I mean, again, if nothing else, it reinforces that you need to really get yourself like a CPA because there's no way you can keep us up. But is there anything, I mean, is there anything else you can think of that I didn't ask that I should have asked?
Do things early.
Okay.
Get in there and don't wait till the last minute to do your taxes, because if you do, you're going to have less time to get the money together if you owe. So if you get in there, get early. If you file doesn't mean you have to pay right now.
Right.
So file it, get it done, and then maybe you got a refund and maybe you owe on federal and on state, the opposite. So gives you some time to get the refund you're getting and then wait to pay
Right.
till April 15th, possibly. The other thing to note is some people have estimated tax payments that are due. And if you don't make those estimates, you do get small fines to do so. But it's relatively cheap financing at 3% in today's market.
Right.
So get in there early, make decisions. Don't wait till the last minute if you think you're going to owe, so that you're not trying to come up with money at the end. And then when the appropriate time happens, if you have a complex situation or a business that's growing, get somebody on board that's giving you advice, and possibly get an accountant that can help you with your books, and you can go out and earn money and they account for it, and they'll tell you, here's your reports, here's what's happening in your business. And you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize
Right.
that was that expensive and I need to change my pricing because I don't have enough margin. Well, you can only tell that if you have books,
Right.
right? So
I'm
anyways, it's
selling
been
lots
a
of stuff, but I'm
pleasure.
losing money.
I know. And sometimes people don't know what they make till they go to
Yeah.
their accountant.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
got to know earlier than that, how you're doing, because maybe you're pricing yourself too low,
Right.
or maybe you shouldn't be in business at all. So,
Yeah.
sometimes it's sad because I'm like, yeah, you lost $2,000. So if you had done nothing, you would be $2,000 better off than all the
Yeah.
work you did all year.
Yeah.
If this isn't something you want to grow, that doesn't have potential. So, anyways, I try to help people all the time, try to give them opportunities, help them to see what the reality is of the tax situation. So, I love helping people and trying to help bring light to organizing them so that they can make good decision making in their current life, not just to save taxes.
Well, this has been great, Stephanie. What would be if someone wanted to reach out to you and kind of chat or see if you had any space for another client? What
Yes.
would be the best way? And I'll put your contact information in the show notes. But
Yeah.
just what's a good way to reach
The best way to reach me is Stewart Associates P.A, CPA firm in Meridian, Idaho. We'll put the phone number on there, but you can
Yep.
reach out to us
Yep.
and make an appointment. Look us up on our website. You can read about our staff. We have 5 CPAs at our firm and staff of total about 12.
Wow.
So we're a pretty medium-sized company and we have specialties in all areas. And so we're super excited to bring on new clients and to grow.
Awesome. Well, this has been great. Hey, I appreciate it. Hope the listeners learned something. Well, I did. Which bottom line is everyone needs to get an accountant. If you don't, better get one right now because it's going to get busy. So
It's going to get harder and harder year by year as
yeah,
more people retire.
perfect. Hey, appreciate it,
Thanks a
Stephanie.
lot.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Until next time. Appreciate everybody.
Thank you.